Well, it's a cold morning here in the Italian Dolomites. We're at an airfield called Locher, which is privately owned by this individual who has a factory, and I think he has a showroom as well. And he's well known for running a YouTube channel called the Turboprop Channel, though it's not been active for a while. And he's got a Pilatus PC12. And he has a Quest Kodiak 100, and he's got another turboprop tailwheel fun aircraft. I'm not sure what that one is. He owns this airfield, and he takes his workforce on jaunts at the weekend. And this is honestly a real world. I mean, he literally does do this. He puts, 6 of his workforce into his PC12, takes off this incredibly tight grass airstrip with and I'll show you in a sec, with a slope, and he flies them off for weekends in the sun in Croatia, Palma de Mallorca. He goes skiing in Courchevel, and all of these trips, and there are many more than I've mentioned now, are documented. Of interest to the flyers amongst you is just the operation from Locher, really, and the fact that he really enjoys his PC12 because it's a really fabulous aircraft. Anyway, this airstrip is free. You can get this from flightsim.to. It's absolutely free, and it is exactly like the real thing. It is superb. And this, if you've got a PC12, this is one of those must-do destinations. You've got to come here in your PC12, or you don't need a PC12. No, that's not quite right. But anyway, you know what I mean. You've got to come here. So I'll just show you now the airstrip, because you're only seeing the very, very bottom bit here, and you're usually airborne by this. Not by much, but let's have a look uphill. So there we go. So you can see there is quite a slope there, and he tacks. Well, let me just show you what the rest of it is. So there is an underground hangar depicted here in the sim, and he pulls his aircraft out. He loads up with all his workforce and all their skis, because the PC-12s just can carry a huge payload. Starts up, and then he taxis up this. I mean, it's just incredible, really. But this is real. This is in the sim, and it really is like this in the real world. So he taxis up here, goes up onto the airstrip, taxis all the way to the top, turns around, and then does his takeoff roll. And there is halfway down, I think there is a not quite visible. I think this is I'm not sure I can actually see it here. There is, I think, a path that goes across here, so you've got to watch out for people. So I don't know whether he owns this here, the showroom and the factory down here, but anyway, whatever he does, he obviously does it well, because it's 3 turboprop aircraft. That's pretty good. So anyway, we're here today. I'm not sure I'm going to do a flight. We might do it, I don't know. This is really about how to use the PC-12 NGX, and how to use the crossfill functionality. But I just want to show you one more thing, because this is a very tricky airfield to get into. You can just about see it now. See these? Yep. Power lines go right across the valley. There's 2 of them. One is there, and I think the other one is a bit closer, or maybe a bit further. But there are 2 sets. Maybe we can see it coming the other way. There you go. There's the other set. So yeah, you've got to avoid both of these and get into that tiny grass runway with an uphill slope, and really not very much chance of a go. And although I guess you can just carry on up the valley, but you'd be configured for landing. So yeah, it'd be tricky, I think, to do a go around. Anyway, this is usually snow covered at this time of year, but I think the weather it's a little bit warm around the Alps at the moment. So yeah, let's I mean, it's just fabulous anyway. So what I want to show you today is about cross-filling the flight plan using either the pay or the free GTN 750, because this technique works with, you know, the default GNS 430, the GNS 530. It works for the Garmin 1000. I'd tell you that it probably works for the Garmin 3000, but you wouldn't need to use Crossfill because that's uses much the same technique as using GTN 750. You've got the Garmin touchscreen controllers and the Garmin 3000, so you really wouldn't need to use it for that. But it's a very easy technique because those GNSs and the Garmin 1000 are very, well, they're old technology. They were before touchscreens, so yeah, you've got to access all the menus through a couple of rotary knobs, and they're not very straightforward to use. So what we're going to do, let's get into the aircraft. We're going to just get the aircraft on ground power. So let's get inside. So we'll get the aircraft on ground power. So to do that, we would just, we'll open the doors while we're here. Why not? So ground power. Door 1. Door 2. Did that open? Door 2. There we go. And I don't know why I put the doors on, don't really need to. So let's get ground power running. So we need to put batteries on. Now I'd like to tell people the aircraft is live with people on board. We can do external power and the Avionics buses and the standby bus. So that should be good. We should have a full complement. Oh, and ground power. Yeah, ground power's on. And we should have a full complement of screens. We'll just wait until these kick in. There we go. Lovely. So we got full complement screens, and as you can see, there's no flight plan here. So if you've got the PMS 50 GTN 750, either the free or the pay, this technique will work. So you just go to the handlebar menu. This is known as the handlebar menu because once I've got mine hidden, there's usually a little sort of, you know, an icon here that looks like bicycle handlebar, and it's been dubbed the handlebar menu. Anyway, you open up the GTN 750. Don't do anything special. This will be there as long as you've got the PMS 50 GTN 750 paid or free installed. So you just open that up and you wait a moment for it to appear, and we'll use this, which will initialize shortly. And there are two ways of bringing in a flight plan. This is the paid version. Okay, so I can go to the flight plan and the menu, and I can do import, and I can do it from SimBrief or from a file, and that's what I'm going to do, from a file. Okay, because I'm not going to do a SimBrief route for a PC-12 flight. So we'll do that in a second. But if you've got the free version, obviously you can't import, but when you populate this, which is a heck of a lot easier to use than maybe, I mean, it's not so difficult to use the onboard navigation in the NGX, but again, it's not as easy as this. Whatever you do here, paid or free, will be represented here. Okay, so it's a really useful technique. So I'll just show you now. We'll just create a flight plan. We're at the moment, as you can see, my little airplane icon is up here. We're north of Bolzano, only by, let's have a look, there's Bolzano Airport. We are 8.4 miles north of Bolzano in this tiny little airstrip that I've just shown you. So let's do a route from here. So we'll set LOC, which is not its ICAO code, by the way. The airfield is known as Locher, L-O-C-H-E-R. That's just a temporary ICAO that's been given. So we'll do departure from LOC. I'm not interested in the runways, but I'm not going to take them away yet. And we're going to, let's just say we're going to fly to my little airstrip in Tuscany called Massacinquale. And we'll do LILQ, Lima India Lima Quebec, as the destination. And of course now I've got the departure runways and the arrival runways, so I'm just going to get rid of those. Right click, delete. Right click, delete. Okay, so we've just got a straight line between the two. This is a route that I'll be flying with my friends, and it's 165 miles, but we'll add a couple of waypoints. So we'll go to Bolzano OZE Oscar Zulu Echo. We'll then go to Mattarello. We'll go to Villafranca. We'll go to anything else? Surely there is something we can use. Well, we could use Airways. Of course we could. But we're not going to. And we'll just go to that's a Tacan. I didn't realise that was a Tacan, which is okay. You can still use it as a navigational beacon. I guess that will do for our route, although that leg is a little bit long, 90 miles. These will have a range of over 40 miles, so we should be good with that. So anyway, there's our basic route. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to save this as a 2020 flight plan. I'm going to put it in my downloads, but I'm going to call it FPL. Okay, so it's FPL.pln. Okay, so let me get Windows Explorer, go to my downloads, there it is, FPL.pln. I'm going to cut this, and let's go and find my PMS50 folder. As I said, this is the payware version, so if you've got the freeware, you can't do this. Is it worth having the payware? I think so. It's €20 a year or €50 for a lifetime license, and the functionality is much improved in the payware version, but I understand it's a lot of money. So what we're going to do, just going to sort this alphabetically, press P, and then we'll go to the P's, and where is PMS50? There it is. That's my PMS50 installed in my community folder. Open that up, go to flight plans, go to GTN 750, and there's one here already. I'm going to overwrite that. Paste. Do you want to overwrite it? Yes. So that, and I'll just show you, if I just edit it, you'll see is one we created. So it's Locher, Bolzano, Trento, Villafranca, and Sierra Alpha Zulu. So you'll see that is the one that we created. And now when I go to my GTN 750, go to the flight plan page, the menu, import from file, and it says it might take a while. It doesn't really, it depends how long the file is. There we go. Do you want to load Locher to Massa Cinquale? Okay, there it is. And you'll see in the background that instantly the the Primus Avionics suite has been populated with this very flight plan. Not only that, whilst we can add here the approach and departures, and it's not very difficult to do, you can still do it through here. So there are no departures procedures for either of the airports, but if there was to be a departure, consider a star or an approach, you can add it here and it will automatically populate here. Okay, so there you go. That's the lesson for today. It's called cross-filling. So you use one bit of avionics to fill another, and hopefully that will be of interest to you.